Hello, just clicked the live button. I know some of you were just eagerly waiting. Hopefully, maybe Adam can give me a thumbs up from the green room to tell me my internet is stable. All right. Kind of. I did attempt to plug things in, and there's technical error with my provider this week. So that's exciting. Anyway, welcome to Who's Your Caddy? If you're new here, we are a weekly PGA DFS talk show. And we're going to switch things up a little bit this week. We're going to have a little more discussion, a little less cookie cutter action. I'm not a huge fan of doing what everybody else is doing, and you probably know that if you follow me at all. So what I want to do is just go our own way. We're going to roll with it. Let's hear some exciting opening music. And I'm back. Most of you watch enough golf, love golf, watch it, fans of it, play DFS every week to have a pretty good idea of who you want to play. Outside of that, there are plenty of shows, tools, articles, all those things out there that help you to narrow down who your picks are going to be and give you additional insight. So what I want to do here on this show is break down any questions you might still have about players in your player pool and answer those questions and help you really finalize those picks. And I wouldn't be able to do that. At least I wouldn't have any fun doing that on my own. So I have an amazing co-host, Adam Hallas, at Mr. Hallas on Twitter. Am I hanging in there okay? Besides my dog's barking, is the internet stable today?
The internet's stable. I don't know about my co-host.
It's very true. I'm very unstable, actually. What are you up to? Anything new?
Nothing new. Licking my wounds a little bit from last week. Yeah, but I'm excited for this week. There's a lot of good things on tap as long as people stay in the field.
I know. That seems to be a really big topic right now, as we were just about to jump on and you were mentioning some of the withdrawals. We're going to get into that. But before that, I do want to talk a little bit about last week, even if you are licking your wounds. Personally, I didn't do too badly. Shuffles, Xander Schauffele, second place, but great for DFS. We don't necessarily care too much about where people place. What we care about is, are they getting birdies? Are they not getting bogeys? Are they not three-putting? Let's just avoid all the bad things, do all the good things, make the cut. Shuffles, Alex Smalley. I had Thigala, who really had one major kick-ass day at least, which really helped. Not the finale. Ricky Fowler, because science.
Because science. He's in the top 50 now. It's not science anymore. It's just a proven fact.
It's just a fact. And then Fleetwood. But here's the kicker. So I play fantasy league, which I've mentioned before, an experts league. I love to put it in quotes, and you hate it. I know. The experts league for FSGA, and I swear I need a trophy for the most amount of points left on the bench. Because despite telling all of you some of my favorite DFS picks this week, I managed to sit those people thinking, okay, great for DFS, but I think these guys are actually going to place well. Did not bode well for me. How did you do this week, DFS or otherwise, this last week?
Well, I'll tell you what, going into Friday into cut sweats day, I was thinking I was doing okay. But then a couple of my players, Joel Dahman being one of them, was just, you know what? I'll pick up another game at a local golf course, which he actually Instagram and tweeted. He goes, "Hey, looking to play a game this weekend if you're close by." So yeah, he's living his own life, which is great, but not great if you pick him for DFS, which is I never blame anybody for living a good life. So, but Brian Harmon did not do well. He kind of imploded on himself, but Ricky Fowler did okay. Xander Cantlay floated in the middle. He was fine. We were right about Rory being last in the field for accuracy, and it showed.
Yeah.
Off the tee. And we were somewhat right on the Hoagland meltdown. I love the guy. He's a good player. But then +6 on a Sunday. He just needs to learn to finish. He can make those one and two rounds, but he just can't carry it all through the weekend.
It's tough. It is tough. But I will say, not that I want to go against your picks. If you did happen to play the advice, I was really happy with my picks. If you picked the picks that I picked, I also played them in DFS and came in second in our small little pool. So if you hung in there, you likely came in the money. Small money, albeit, but you are not a loser if you are out there playing Shuffles, Fleetwood, Fowler, KH Lee, who was the WTF pick of last week.
I played Shuffles and Fowler because they were also we had a top tier pick. We had twinsies. Yeah.
I'm enjoying one of my very first cocktails since my surgery also.
Is that a Topo-Chico?
Topo-Chico strawberry guava.
Oh.
Refreshing. I felt like Go ahead.
I just like how some things, like some drinks, are named by just walking through a grocery store and pointing at things. We can put these two things together, right? The strawberry and guava? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Strawberry and guava. I felt like it's a nice re-entry into alcoholism.
It's a nice takeoff. It's like a Cessna, right? If you're learning to fly, you fly the learning plane. That's a Cessna.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Just kidding. I am not an alcoholic, but I do enjoy beverages. If I were an alcoholic, I would seek help. If you are an alcoholic, please do seek help. My DMs are open. Adam's DMs are open. Happy to listen to you about anything, really. Do you gamble too much? Do you drink too much? Do you have depression? Do you not? And you just want to say hello? Come and talk to us about it. Tweet me at Kelly and Phoenix, Adam at Mr. Hallas. We are here for you. But enough of that, Adam. This week, we are traveling to TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney, Texas, where one of golf's favorites is coming home to play, Mr. Scotty Scheffler, who obviously is the favorite this week. And another Texas favorite has withdrawn, Jordan Spieth. So
wrist problems.
Got to get that in order. Mm-hmm. We are at the AT&T Byron Nelson. Here is something I'm very super excited about. And it's as a lover of golf, a watcher of golf, I'm super excited to see KH Lee play this week because he's going for a three-peat. And he will not be on my fantasy bench this week. He will be playing, and well, spoiler alert, He's going to be one of my picks this week, too. I'm excited to watch him play. 2021 champion, 2022 champion. If he wins, it's a three-peat. If he doesn't, it's still going to be good points. It just can't not be unless he totally shits the bed, which I hope he doesn't. Also, very excited to watch in general because holy cow, the scores are extremely low. I couldn't believe when I was looking at last year's score, it was literally 69th place before we leave the double digits under par. For example, Mr. Kind Eyes, Matt Kuchar, shot 8 under in the 4th round. He finished 12th. And that's not the surprising part. He finished at 20 under and landed in 12th. Come on now. Tell us why, Adam. Why? Why is it like this?
Well, it is going to be one of the easier courses that you'll get to play as a PGA player. There's my caddy. Finally got up. And then it has the 8th widest fairways. So, the 8th widest fairways on the PGA Tour, 14th largest green. And yes, minus 25 and minus 26 were the winning scores last year and the year before. If you remember I forget what was the team event earlier this year, but the scores were like minus 28, minus 29. And that was best ball with 2 people. And we're getting minus 25, minus 26 with just one person playing. So that gives there's not a lot of defense around here. There's a creek that runs through the course, but it really doesn't come in play for a lot of holes.
Wait.
What?
I thought you said there's a creep that runs around the course. It's like, what?
That creep is Mr. Horrible Eyes, the opposite of Mr. Kind Eyes, and he just goes around the course and going in the hole. So, with that being said, with it being the easiest course, and even the PGA is like, we're going to downgrade this course to par 71, does not make a lick of difference. Some things we do need to keep in mind, though. If it is an easy course and it is a birdie fest, some things we're not going to pay attention to are off the tee stats. With the 8th widest fairways on tour, you don't really have to pay attention to, I would say, driving accuracy. Now it's at 7,400 yards. You could probably nudge distance a little bit if you wanted to. It's not really going to be a huge factor. Looking at a lot of the past tournament winners and looking at past data, the biggest strokes gained here were on putting and approach.
Yeah, for sure. That's really one of the strongest things I should say I'm looking at is approach. Obviously, my favorite little pentagon approach is by far stretching the bounds and reshaping the way we look at the skill set needed for this course. And yeah, I totally agree with you. Birdie Fest, maybe even look at top birdie scores, which I did not actually have time to do this week. So when I give you my top picks this week, it's probably just going to be based off of what am I feeling going with? What am I looking at the course skill set, looking at last year's history for sure. Speaking of, we already talked about Jordan Spieth withdrawing, came in second last year at the AT&T Byron Nelson on this course in his home state, and it was 25 under par, which he didn't even play that amazing in the 4th round, if that tells you anything. He was 5 under, but we've got guys 10, 11, 9, 10, 11 under. So second place last year, no place this year. Another person who racked in the points last year. Didn't end up finishing too great, but for the rounds prior was JJ Spawn. JJ Spawn ended up withdrawing as well, as you mentioned. There were lots of withdrawals, Adam. And another surprising withdrawal, finishing 32nd last year at 16 under. Mark Hubbard, withdraw. Mark those off your sheet. You're not going to be able to play them. So we're here to help. We're here to help you. JJ Spawn was actually on my list of players to play this week, and I'm pretty bummed that he is withdrawn. Is there anybody that's withdrawn that you really wanted to play this week?
I was hoping to play some Spieth, but with the PGA Championship being next week and a lot of players just wanting to kind of take it easy before the big major, I could see it happening. One I'll throw out there, to not that he's on my list or anything, but Hideki might be withdrawing as well because he withdrew last week, so he can go back to Japan, get his neck looked at. He may want to he may play like a round or two and then withdraw and just head to the PGA Championship.
That's important to keep an eye on because he played very well last year, coming in third at 24 under last year. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on that one. I'm just pulling up a few stats because, like I said, I am falling a little bit behind this week in my studies. Sorry about that. But I'm noticing that I don't see Xander Schauffele this week. And he played here last year. So that bums me out as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start with KH Lee. I am definitely playing KH Lee this week. I have him also in my fantasy league. While fantasy and DFS are not necessarily related, you can correlate good play. And I'm really disappointed in myself for not correlating that with good play. But that's okay. KH Lee at 9,300 on DraftKings, 11,000 apparently on FanDuel. As Adam likes to say, horses for courses. Why wouldn't you play KH Lee this week? I don't know. Why wouldn't you?
So Wendy put a great question in. If I set a lineup, so let's go ahead and show that one. If I set a lineup and a golfer withdraws before the event starts, can I replace them? Yes, you can. Once the event starts, though, SOL.
That's a great question. Are you going to play KH Lee this week?
I'll probably play some KH Lee. Probably not a lot, considering that if you're playing, I like to play GPP events or a lot of tournament events. So I might want to get a little different on that. But I'll have some KH Lee sprinkled in there just to.
I'm looking at who I want to pick this week, and I'm like, do I need two WTFs?
This whole field's going to be a WTF, only because it is. It's going to be. It's weird because, again, easy course, and so if you think back to the Mexico Open, similar style, right? And then there's a tournament before that where it's kind of a birdie fest, and like all the people, you're like, oh God, how come I didn't pick him? It's because you never pick him. You never pick him.
I feel like that a lot of times too. I'm like, what the heck? I know I saw that name, but that's it. I never pick them. Who do you have on top? My favorite this week is going to be KH Lee.
Yeah. So a lot of my favorites are kind of in the mid-range, but if you're looking to stand out a little different on the more expensive peoples, I kind of like Tyrell Hatton. He's been playing pretty well.
Keep it together.
Hopefully he can keep it together, but he's Second tee to green in the field. Putting, he's 8th. Approach, he's 3rd. Proximity, he's 6th. In par 3 scoring, he's 12th. Par 4 scoring, he's 5th. And then if you look at his birdie or better percentage, he is 11th.
11th. Ooh.
So I like Ty. Also like Tom Kim.
Oh yeah.
I do like Tom Kim. I think he'll do pretty well here. He does pretty well at Birdie Fest, and so I'm hoping he just knocks it out of the park here. I like a couple others. I like I wouldn't say cheapo, but Ben Griffin has always been a pretty good mainstay. I think he'll be doing okay here. I don't know if he'll can keep up with the Birdie Fest that this may turn into, like you don't make a birdie every hole, he might be out of the running. But I think he has a pretty good shot.
I'm looking at my picks. I'm pretty interested in how these are going to play out. But I'm going to trust the process like we've talked about. I like Matt Kuchar, Mr. Kind Eyes. Surprise, surprise.
I love Matt Kuchar for this. He's a Texas boy too, isn't he?
I like him a lot this week. He's pretty pricey, and I think that's okay. He didn't do terribly last week. So Kuchar, again, like I mentioned, tied for 12th last year. 9K though on DraftKings. That's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be, if I'm gonna do all 3 of my picks plus my WTF, I'm gonna have to dig deep. Mm-hmm. So Cage Lee at 9,300, Matt Kuchar at 9K, Bezenhout. I really, this came up as I was talking about the tournament earlier today, and I was like, really? But again, tied for 12th. Part of that pack there with Matt Kuchar, tied for 12th last year at 20 under. He's only 8K this week. And
I think Bez is a great pick.
You like that one too?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's done well here. I think overall at $8,000, and he's played well in the last 10 events. His last 2 events, he's placed 19th and 28th. And so his birdie or better percentage is right on where you want it to be. For a person you're paying $8,000 for, his approach stats are pretty stellar. He's not long off the tee, but we don't need him to be. I mean, the fairways are friggin' 8 miles wide. And he's a great putter. So
yeah, I was going to say, like, when we talk about this course in particular, his approach is better than average. He is not long off the tee, like you mentioned, but his putting's pretty stellar. So I think that's pretty much all we could ask for when we're looking at a player for our DFS lineup. And my WTF this week, another player on my fantasy league that sat the bench and played pretty darn well, Nate Lashley. Poor Nate Lashley. I just cannot get on board with him for some reason, and yet he has been playing fairly steadily this season so far. Nate Lashley, 17th last year at AT&T Byron Nelson, and only 7.2K on DraftKings. So I'm pretty impressed with Lashley overall. When we talk about course fit, he actually is pretty much the perfect little pentagon, all around good player. So I'm going with that as my WTF, knowing that he already plays well on this course. He's been doing decent this year, and I'm hoping that he does better than decent this week.
Well, my WTF is Eric Cole.
Eric who?
Cole. Exactly, right? He's overall 7th in the field for putting. Tee to green, he's 40th, but his approach, he's 18th.
Oh, wow.
In the field. He's 14th in the field for par 3 scoring. He's 7th in the field for par 5 scoring. And his birdie or better percentage is 18th in the field. Bogey avoidance, 8th. Scoring average, 9th. So I think he has it with him, in him. And we don't need to worry about his driving accuracy because, good Lord, I think I could beat him at it. But, yeah, I think he's my WTF for this week.
I like it. Oh, Wendy played him last week, and it was bad news. But you know what, Wendy? I find that they play poorly one week, they bounce back the next. It's like a, what do you call it? Ego thing, maybe? And this is a pretty easy course.
Yeah, it's a very easy course. And Eric Cole does not have good driving accuracy. In Quail Hollow, you need some driving accuracy. That should have been your number one stat to be looking at. And so if he goes wayward this week, it doesn't matter as long as he gets to the green.
Well, Wendy, your cheapie should have been Alex Smalley.
I like how we're chastising like the one chatter.
Wendy, come on now. Just kidding. No, you can't bet that for the top 20, Wendy. No. I can't laugh too hard. It makes my incisions hurt. Ow. Personal news. I had 2 checkups today by 2 doctors, and everything's looking good. So again, thank you guys so much for all of your thoughts and your prayers and your good vibes and whatever it is that you believe in. Keep it up because it's working. I'm feeling really good, and I got to sleep in an actual bed last night. Not a chair, not a recliner, not my office couch that has like a little thing, a bed. A bed, B-E-D. I'm going to do it again tonight.
What? That's almost a streak.
Adam, do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight before we say goodbye?
Have fun out there. It is DFS, and people get up in a bunch about it, but just have fun. It's going to be a fun weekend. I forgot to mention, there is a mini stadium hole, number 17, par 3. Should be fun.
Oh, I did not know that. That should be fun. I've got to ask because I'm so curious before I look back. Did my internet hold?
There was one point where he kind of blipped a little bit. Other than that, the internet was stable.
I'll take it. I'll take a blip.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back next week to review the future course, the past results, our top 3 favorite picks of the week, and of course the WTF picks of the week. If you have any questions, hit me up at Kelly and Phoenix or hit up Adam at Mr. Hallas on Twitter. Until then, have a good night. Bye.